Cool. Okay, so I guess you guys might not have understood the title, but the idea is I'm trying to put words on the process of making your turn strategy before you move your models. Because I often see people trying to put the carriage in front of the horse, let's say. And here the idea is that you're going to be forming macro by eliminating situations of micro for your units. It's a complex sentence, but okay. Let's say that first you will have to isolate what your units can do, and then it will form a battle plan of what you're about to do. But I'm going to detail that a bit more. A bit hard to make it an overview. I think this uh, could help you guys avoid making mistakes along the turn. Because if you make the perfect plan and then you execute it, you don't have to hold back on some things. You don't have to ask your opponent if you can take back something. You don't have to actually move a unit forwards and notice you don't need it or the opposite, etc. I feel like it's also going to be something very useful when it comes to the micro of each unit because if you isolate this process, you gain brain power to actually um, think about how do you execute a perfectly this unit in particular. So, anyways, um, I made some kind of test map. I didn't deploy both armies. I took two hybrid armies because this is a simple case. The idea is that uh, we are going to look from the AdMex POV. Um, Imagine that the death guard had first turn and this is turn two. So they've played first. This is their turn two. We can imagine that there was an Onager on this objective. And because this is fairly tanky, it was not a good strategy to just shoot it with the drones because they would die from the ballistary right after. And you would screen the Death Shroud with crap. So the Death Guard player decided to charge with Death Shroud and to just remove the Onager and to also show more stuff on the objectives like this super annoying Demon Prince and the stuff on this strong flank. Let's say here's the Rhino of Plague Marines. The drones are hidden. We can imagine there's a unit of another unit of the Shroud in reserves. Let's say for just for the plan's sake. Um, And on the ATMEX side, we've got some chickens, we've got two full transports, we've got some crap on the map, enough crap to play. And in the transports, we have one unit of Electro Priests and one unit of Stalkers. So melee and melee plus shooting. So the idea is that I want to show how do I process thinking to execute this turn. Like what am I going to try to do to resolve, let's say, this problem I have without spending too much resources? Because I'm playing into Death Guard. My estimate is probably draw. I'm not going to push him straight. Like if I pull out all of my models, I will lose. So I need to commit exactly what I need to commit. So when I start my turn, the first thing I'll do is get my cards. I'm just gonna draw random cards for the sake of it. Be anything, but whatever. Let's say okay, this is pretty simple. It requires to do nothing. It just tells you kill stuff on objectives, which you're gonna do anyways, and mark for death. You don't care. You're gonna discard it for a CP. So the first thing I need to formulate in my mind is, of course, I need to flip the three objectives, and I need to kill this unit because it's very deadly and it cannot stay here in the open like that in front of me. Like that's the obvious plan. Like this is the end result. If I flip the three objectives and kill this thing, it's okay. Like I've done an okay minus turn, let's say. But I can do more. I have the damage to kill more things. So my idea is that I will first start thinking about my important units and what I want to do with them and how much CP they're going to use. Then I'll move to the units that have the least options. And lastly, I'll go to the units that are just lying around and I just don't need them straight up. So Can we put color? Yeah, we can put colors, right? If
Yeah,
you
we can, we can.
Yeah, yeah, if you do that, okay, cool. I'll just do some color thingy. Um, yeah. Okay, so the first important bit, my first important unit is, let's say, these three. They are the easiest to process for me because they have only they can either come here and shoot nothing, or they can come inside here and shoot this. But if I come inside, I'll be dead by the Plague Marines. So for me, they have just one place to shoot this and potentially this. So I like it's pretty straightforward. I don't need to overthink what they need to do because I will need damage to kill what's in front of me. So let's just keep this unit safe from the blood drones and the plague marines and just remove what's in front of me. So, anyways, so it will require one CP because I will use a strat that increases my damage. Let's say so. And one CP is not that much. I'm not about to spend like 4 CP, so pretty negligible in the plan. So this is important. I'm going to use them. I will probably shoot at this unit because last cannons are really good into the shroud. Um, Next thing I want to think about is what do I do with the contents of the two transports? Can I do something good with them? So here I can straight up say that no, because this unit is anti-infantry and there is no infantry in front of me. I'm not going to charge 10 poxwalkers with 10 rustalkers. It makes no sense. So the only play I could do that could be good is to actually close up the rhino, to move up and close it up. But I'm not sure I want to spend that many points to just lock the rhino. So this is I'll come back to it. For now, I'll try to not use it for this turn because I feel like they don't have a good target and they have no need to come out. If they come out, I'm just enabling my opponent to push on that flank at least. Yeah, as long as they stay here, the Plague Marines will stay here more or less. Otherwise, they're just gonna go out, kill something that's less than 400, and die from the Stalkers. So yeah, no need to play this one. Then this unit here is kind of like this one, except it does a bit of damage into everything. I don't need to be like fighting infantry with them. I can just shoot the Demon Prince, for example, or shoot the Mephitic. So the good part about this unit is that it's quite tanky because they have Phenopains and stuff. So I could decide to use it to lock something in melee, which would enable me for next turn to have less things to worry about because some of the units will not have done anything. So I can say that I would commit them on this objective so I can help killing these things. If I kill them in shooting, I could place myself so I can charge this thing and actually flip the objective and lock this thing or kill it. So that could be a good candidate to go in conjunction with this unit and just roll this flank. So yeah, that's probably a good use. Another use is to go in the center to fight the Demon Prince, charge to shoot him, charge him, and flip this objective. But I will probably not kill him, and because he has regen in command phase, it seems like a bad plan. So I literally don't need to interact with it. So I don't think this is a good plan to go here because I can achieve the same stuff with 5 pigeons. So yeah, let's not bother with dealing with this flank. Okay, so this unit has little options essentially. It can do many things, but the best would be to secure succeeding this flank because um, yeah, the next part is these two ballistari. Unfortunately, if nothing comes out, they cannot shoot. This one is, let's say, it's blown up. I need to move here to shoot him. I could do it because I don't mind if the Plague Marines go out and shoot 2 chickens. I don't really care. But I also don't really care that much about damaging this prince. So what I could do is I could move here, shoot the dash route to stand like that, for example. They're fast enough. And I wouldn't be completely out of the game if I do that. I would just increase my chances to success. So guys would probably do this mission. Sounds reasonable, sounds simple, same as these. I'm not putting them in any harm. I'm just gonna use them to make sure this plan goes smoothly. Because if I do my turn properly, I'll have killed about 400. Actually, 400, no, 380, and froze the rest of the map. So 400 in a turn, not bad. So this unit here, I'm not gonna address it because it's at the end. It has little options and little use. Um, Out of all these units that have little value, now I have, let's say I have solved this issue here because I'm gonna pull my Electro Priest and take this objective. This seems the most likely outcome. However, I still need to flip these two. The problem is that I either go here and flip this one because I have enough OC, or I go here and flip this one. I cannot do both. So I need to make a call. Do I want to 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 give my opponent 5 points to just let him score the primary, or do I think that there is a plan on which I don't lose so many models doing it? And uh, in this situation, I'm not sure where the rest of the points are. But let's say if this is on the map, I could actually decide to use the two Scorpiuses to just sit on the objective. And that's 4 OC flips the objective, low value, and will require effort to die. And I can just stage the Rustalkers here. I'm not worried about this guy because he has very little anti-infantry, and I can fall back, shoot, and charge. And the Plague Marines cannot reach me because they move 8 from the transport. They won't be in the right side, so don't really care actually. They can't catch me. They do 8, I can hide, that's okay. So yeah, that could be a plan. Use these 5 dudes to go here and use 2 transports to go in the middle. And then there's the last, like this, these are the important things. The last part are these 3 units. I don't really need them, so I guess they're just gonna help doing what I need to do. They're gonna shoot here. This guy will just stand back because he has nothing to do. Like he's gonna come here next to the Iron Striders, so you can shoot this. And these guys might start rotating like this because I'm about to spend Electro Priest to do some melee here. So yeah, this unit's pretty simple. Now there is one more thing I need to consider. Usually is am I covering rapid ingress angles, which naturally this is like let's say that it's not an objective, but it's something that we always think about anyways. Like it doesn't take many 10th edition games to figure out that it's probably if you can, you should. So you just move up your unit as much as you can so you can like you don't just move in front of the wall, you actually advance and go far so you can push back the rapid ingress. So that's like I've assigned my tasks, everything's good. Now I need to actually execute how to micro wise he'll execute that plan and place my units accordingly and properly, let's say. Wait, let me just take some electro priests. So um up I'm gonna pull out some priests. I won't do the movement perfectly. They're sitting here. Cool. Um up, they're gonna do some advanced move. They have, let's say I'm playing Halo's Creed and I have +2 movement, so they move 8 plus d6. Let's say I roll a 3. So I'll just take a guy that will just go as far as I can to Kryn. For the rapid ingress, I'll do the same with him. Okay, I cannot go on the other side. Fine. And then have some dudes just go here, let's say. And the rest of the unit doesn't really matter because I don't want to do it perfectly. Cool. And okay, so this guy has to go here. what I wanted to do. Now, I cannot do much with 12 move, so there is no real micro to do. Like I don't have to like step here or do this or that. I can't do much, so I would probably advance, and if I do enough, I would stand like that so I can in second one. So let's say I roll enough. This one, the init will be set up here, then it will advance like that, and then the 10 rusties will just screen. Not screen, they will just sit there essentially. Here, cool. So yeah, let's say it's done properly. Cool. And then these dudes, they can move twice, so I don't need to do it properly. Sadly, I need all the OC on the objective, so I cannot use them to also move block during the turn. So the best I can do in that situation is to annoy as much as I can the access to the objective, because this might help. Like if he gets cleanse or some shit, reduces the options. Say doesn't cost me anything to do it, so might as well. Up, I'll damage some proxies. Doesn't matter. Cool. And then this guy will stage here. He's protected by these guys. He won't be charged by some dash route. And these guys come help. And these don't matter. Say this unit rotates somewhere. Okay. So the the plan, like the important part, I think, because like this whole movement, like this, all of these movements are like kind of made in a rush. But the idea is that once you've got a clear idea of what your unit wants to do, I'll take this one because it has many options. Once you got a clear idea of what you want to do, you need to gauge um, what's the best use of it now that it's out. In this situation, it has to screen, it has to shoot, and it has to charge. So it's kind of many things together. Um, but I feel like most units don't have so many options. But anyways, let's take the edge case example. So I'll be able to shoot. I'll be able to see most of the models to remove the cover, let's say. And then I'll charge this guy, and I'll probably end up in this position with like most of the priests here, and the rest like 1, 2, 3, so they can block the shroud from charging call. And that, I think that's like a decent use of the unit, and I hope that it will be a good proposal for this turn. Let's say. So let's say I do my stuff. Guys in melee, then 1, whatever. Yes. Okay. This is dead. This is maybe dead, but I don't. I shouldn't kill it, so I can charge it later. The alternative, if I kill it, is I can charge the prince and just not pile in and just sit there. It's a bit risky, but okay. So I guess in this situation, the the death guard will have to do his turn, and then I'll have to do my next turn, and so on and so forth. The idea is that I need to make sure that I have options next turn. So that's like that's not news, I guess. It's pretty straightforward. In this situation, I feel like I will have enough options. Like I'm visualizing my turn. I will have 5 Ballistary, 5 Rustalker, Cole, and even if everything else dies, I can still fight. At least I can fight for this flank and actually not lose by too much. If I don't lose models here, I will be able to keep fighting with tools to actually charge this, block this, flip this objective, keep playing, and potentially ultimately win. So here I need to step on the objective because I need to score it. So I'll just put something of low value. Forgot this part. You also need to hold objectives, which is hard against this guard. Yeah. So I guess the plan, if I have to summarize something else on it, the plan is always the same because at the start you know that you have to do these things plus these two objectives, but there's several resolutions and you cannot know which one is the best. You kind of need to go with one, and you can only go with the best if you've thought of different ones, of multiple ones. So I could have charged the middle with the priests and sent Rustalkers here, but then I wouldn't be properly screened around here, and I might get charged, or I would need to put the transport like this. That's another option, but I feel like I would, if this was my first game against this card, I would propose this plan and see how it goes. And if it doesn't work, I would reflect and say, okay, I shouldn't have played the priest like that. I should have played the center or just deploy them differently, etc. Um, so yeah, um, it's good to do a plan and to doubt it, but at the end of the day, you'll have to just pick one and at the end reflect on the exact decision making you are doing during that turn and just go, was this proper or should I have actually switched these two units on deployment or not done this here, etc. Because at the end of the day, the unit will most probably always do what it's supposed to do. So for example, these guys, they will always do that job. It's not related to luck, it's not related to whatever. You know exactly what they're gonna do. Same for, let's say, Ballistari. They might kill one dash route or they might kill four, but regardless, when you do your plan, you know what to expect. So yeah, it's like if I can kill those differently, I know that I can just switch them with something else and do the same plan. Like, yeah, it's kind of hard to explain with this unit in particular, but it's very dicey in the end. Um, I've been yapping for a sec. I guess would be nice if you guys have questions or if you want to just ask me something. I hope it was okay in terms of pacing. Because when I talk too much, people fall asleep. So I need to actually interact, see if we can build something. So if someone wants to share how they do their plan, uh, maybe we can discuss that. Like, do you guys start from the objectives, use the closest unit to the objective, or do you guys start with the important units, or do you start with the chaff? Do you
Matthew,
think
I
about
actually,
everything?
Matthew, I actually do my plan in a similar matter. First, I look what I need to do. It depends on the matchup, though. If it is a dead guard, it's always going to be the same. I need to save as many resources as possible, and I need to decide when I'm going to sacrifice my big units. And
Yeah,
I'm going to try to deny the objectives for cheap as possible and be a position where he cannot break my back.
yeah,
That's it.
if,
Which is basically the same thing that you explained,
yeah.
but
I,
depends on the
I,
army you play.
yeah, exactly. That's why I picked Death Guard. I picked Death Guard because the plan is like when you arrive in front of a turn two Death Guard, you've played against one, you know that if you misstep, you're gonna get smoked. So you kind of like this is when the plan is the most uncertain. It's like you're like, fuck, what can I do to mitigate the damage? Because if your opponent gives you too much, yeah, you just all in with everything. That's fine. Like this is still difficult to do macro exercise to all in, but I feel like this is a less straightforward situation because you're gonna doubt yourself. Uh, does he have the damage? Do I have the damage? What should I do? And against Death Guard, usually the play is to actually play it slow like that. So yeah, it's not straight. Like there could be other ways to deal with it, and that's what I want to try and portray. That you think about all the options and then you make a call, and you're like, okay, if this doesn't work, I'll just reflect at the end of the game on this exact moment I was thinking about this unit. So like for example, I could say, oh, this was wrong. Actually, I could have charged and wrapped this thing. This would give buy me one turn. meaning that I can set foot with Cole here and shoot this guy. This opens up also these two to actually come within 12 and shoot this guy as well. I can charge and tank shock him and like more times out of 10 lock him in melee with the Dune Rider. It's unlikely, but not impossible. Yeah, like there's this other plan where you all in the death card and hope it works. And maybe it's a good plan, maybe not. I kind of deployed the armies pretty randomly, so maybe there was an angle to actually put that death card, but let's say the player is smarter. And this is not an example. Yeah. But generally, uh, Kala, because you play melee and armies that commit pretty hard, do you think that sometimes you need to call off a plan based on a result during the plan? Because this is a bit different. Like you do your unit strategy, you're like, okay, my plan works only if this unit gets, let's say, 3+ on the advance. If it gets 1 or 2, I'm scared and I won't go.
Matthew, issue is I play a lot of orcs. And there is no I got one on the advance. Do
Yeah,
you
because
feel
you
me?
play orcs, you have no choice. Yeah,
So basically, when you play an army like orcs, and actually orcs help me a lot to play armies like that. They actually even tunnel visioned me a bit, but still. Issue is with the orcs. I need to be sure that I control my opponent enough because orcs have such good trash because the best unit in the game is Grots.
yes.
I can control so much of the map so I can actually delay my commit and
Yeah,
I can
exactly.
be staged very good. And especially with the Dead Guard that is so slow, I can dictate the pace of the game. That is another thing. You basically can dictate the pace of the game with many of the armies.
Yeah, yeah. Like that's on the list building to give you options. Because if my list was, let's say, that amount of ballistary, and I would have just this, and no side unit, none of that, well, I would just lose. I would just lose because I would need to actually set foot on the objective with this, just kill them all, and just charge and lock the last dude in melee. And here I would have to step foot on the objective with 3 of them, so I can shoot the Mephitic here. But then the Plague Marines would just roll me. Like 3 Dash Shroud come, they kill this, and the Plague Marine unit kills this. So yeah, it's more of a list building thing. Like obviously you need tools. You always need tools in every list, just so you have the option to fall back on a more stable and safe plan. But we build melee lists, so we do always have tools. I feel like this is more of an exercise for shooting armies and shooting people. Because if you play like, let's say, 1,000 points of shooting, and the rest is just chaff and things that move around. If you start turn 2 and you're 300 points down, I don't know if with the chaff you have, you can actually counterplay a screen or screen plus flip this, plus flip this, plus flip this. That's a lot of units. You're gonna run out of units, let's say.
Yeah, I
But
can see that, mate.
yeah, but in the end, when you do your unit to unit strategy, you end up in a situation where uh, the plan is harder. Like it takes more brain power, but that's why we play, I guess. You're like, fuck, I have this unit. It's called Leakis. It moves 26 and charge. What am I supposed to do with it? I have so many
Sometimes it's good
options.
just to
What
do
do I
nothing.
do? Ah,
Sometimes it's good to do nothing. No, here comes
no.
the issue. Most players have. I mean, for example, you just showed turn two. You're going to deny him scoring, and you're going to move block him. So basically, he cannot jump on you, and you don't jump on him, and he's playing first. So turn 2, he's going to score a 5
Yeah.
from his home field. Turn 3, he needs to come out and play with something because that's the last turn where he can actually deep strike the Dash Route Terminators, which means
Yeah.
you're going to get options to shoot at something. So most probably turn 3, you're going to kill something and you're again going to hand him a 5. And even if everything fails, he's going to win by 10 points because he's going to get a 15 at turn 5.
Yeah, if you deplete
So
everything on
you're
your turn 3
okay.
and yeah.
Yeah. Where most probably you're not going to deplete everything in turn 3. You're going to have things for turn 4, and at best he's going to get a 10 at his 5th turn, which means even if everything fails, most probably you're going to get a 10 as well, and it is a 10-10. So basically you did what you're supposed to do into a dead guard.
Yeah, exactly. If you start your turn 5 and your turn 4, sorry, and it kind of looks like this. Like everything's dead. You've set foot on the objective. There is a ranger here. Your strong flank is fully won, or like there is a wounded vehicle behind at best. But this guy is in the center, killing everything you send at him, but being flipped actively. The plan is mega straightforward in this situation because you have nothing to play this flank, and he has nothing to play this flank because that's how you've decided to play the map, let's say. So now you just keep doing what you're doing since turn 2, except you've got no options because you've got 5 units left. So you start setting foot on the objectives with Ballistari and shit like that, and maybe
Yeah,
Power
exactly.
Infiltrates. But yeah, this is not. I think I always want to emphasize the thinking on the hard part where you have options. Because the turn 4 and 5, I feel like most people get it correctly. Usually, it's pretty simple. You just do secondaries, flip objectives, and done. The worst that can happen is that the micro is not well done. Like, I don't know, for example, you set foot in the middle, but you left, you're not within 3. Your opponent draws area and scores a free 2, for example. That's no. If you have the movement, you just set like that. If you don't have area, then if you flip this objective, you make sure you move block at the same time, like this. Shit. Yeah. But these things are learned with time. Mm.
Actually, what's most important here is you don't need to kill your opponent to have a good game. I mean, going after
Yeah.
your opponent and just killing him is in a very specific case with a very specific army.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like the case, like there is a world where your opponent has this super unkillable, giga deadly Death Guard army, and you play, let's say, 9 Ballistari, and you've got infinite damage into tanks, and you're like, yes, I can win this matchup. He has only big things except a Plague Marine unit. Everything else is huge, and I can one-shot it. You will always do worse than if you play 100 Storm Guardians.
Yes.
You just run every turn with the Storm Guardians, do a line, run every turn, do a line, put 60 on this objective, hold it. It's like,
You are speaking about to a person who plays Spectacle of Spite usually, so
yeah,
it's fine. I know.
yeah. I don't have to convince you. I feel like this is a crusade against everyone, but you're already converted by this. Like remove shooting, put
What do you
models.
mean?
Well,
I
yeah,
was converted at 9th edition when I played a million racks.
yeah, true, exactly. The
I think for
infinite
that
Yes.
approach, though, you need to kind of be disillusioned that you can table your opponent in certain matchups, for example. So if you don't know the matchup, however, you really don't know if you're gonna get tabled or he's gonna get tabled or neither are gonna be tabled, and it's gonna be a stalemate 10-10, right?
Yeah. I think the hardest part is if I've never played against Death Guard, I'm trying to do my plan in the idea that I'm here to save points. Because then I am not, for example, I'm not going to spend a unit here to screen and he's gonna come out and absolutely smoke something in shooting and start pushing me with Death Shroud and put stuff in the open everywhere and I'm gonna start struggling. Whereas if I know the result, I know exactly the pacing I need to have. So let's say this is a training game, but this is my first one against Death Guard and I'm playing AdMech. I don't know if it's a good matchup or not. Then I just recommend all in. You just all in. Like you do the plan on which everything charges and fights something. Just so you can see if it works or if it's a wobbly plan at best. And if you get mega rolled in return, then you know that you have to play slow. But if you have this game in a tournament and people are telling you, careful, this is hard, or careful, this is strong, or no one's telling you anything, and you make your own mind that this is playable. Uh, yeah, this is exactly where like people get rolled and like get a 0 or something. Like they misjudge the damage or some shit. It's just they just play slow but bad. Because if you all in someone, more times out of 10, you should get points. Like scoring 0 is to be wholly slow and uncertain of what you're doing. Like you're moving a unit forward, then you're moving it back. You're standing here, but not on the objective, but just here, which is not that much further away. And yeah, this is usually what leads to 0. So I'd say like if you guys have a person that rocks up to a game for a tournament and he's like, I don't know this matchup, or you've misjudged it and everyone's afraid of it, then you can just tell him, when in doubt, just all in, bro. Just stage everything and then just send everything at his face. There's little matchups where this doesn't work.
Yeah,
Or
as somebody who's scored a few zeros myself, I think the biggest culprit I've seen from my play is when I play something that I don't know what it's doing. I play, let's say, sometimes too passive, so I don't interact with the objectives. I am too afraid to get within threat range of their, let's say, Plague Marines or whatever big scary unit, and then that allows them to put some Poxwalkers here because I'm afraid of this guy's killing something of mine. So then
yeah,
I don't interact with this objective because of this threat, but then I just lose the game because he obviously has some resources to flip my objective, right? And it doesn't go my way. So I think
yeah.
if I
Like
don't know the matchup,
the
I have
there's a
to
good
gamble.
example with that. Is there's two choices you can have to go on your strong flank. The choice where you're uncertain and playing too slow is the one where you actually set foot with crap on the objective. And the problem is that this might, depending on the army, require almost no answer from your opponent. Like he's gonna send 60 points, kill them, and be done with it. Whereas sometimes you need to calculate at the start of the match. So this is knowingly like what your opponent does, what his army does. You say, okay, I have figured out that against this guy, if I set foot on the objective with an Onagger, it will ask for a serious answer. And you might be thinking, but this is stupid. I'm just giving him an Onagger. He's just gonna die. Well, is it? Like, is it not just smart? Because your opponent needs to succeed at flipping this objective, so he needs to actually do something about this Onagger. And for example, if you play against Imperial Knights, they're just gonna shoot it from afar and just kill it. And then the poor Ballistari are not sure they're gonna win the shoot off against Imperial Knights. So then maybe you're not committing something expensive. Instead, you're putting shite in this situation. Like there's always a unit to put on the objective, and the solution to not put one is never a good one, unless your list is not made for it. you've got an army that puts 2,000 points here and in the middle, and you've got nothing for the weak flank. Then yes, I agree. Then you have to play it slow on one flank.
As a person who is playing mainly toughness 3 and toughness 4 guys, with a 6 up safe, sometimes 4 up, the way to actually secure, if you are second, it's fine. You're going to deny him and make him show, and you're going to prepare and you're going to full send at some point. That's easy, fine. But if you are first, then you actually have questions what you can do and how you can actually save that safe objective of yours. Usually what
Yeah.
I try to do is just because Drukari have such insane speed, I try to move block with the 26 inches of the bikes that I can just zit out, make a line, and just put something hidden on my safe objective. And since he cannot reach it, I can actually score it.
Yeah, like toughness 3 armies have options to hold objectives. They have lone ups, they have the speed to move block and then set foot. Or sometimes they even have 10-man OC2 infantry like Guardian Defenders or some shit. And you just put them on the objective, and your opponent is like, wait, this is actually hard to kill for me. Because I have an army with little shooting, or my only shooting are blast cannons from a ballistus, or one of my 2 tanks cannot see the unit. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's
but you
ways
have
to
to
score with
plan this in
three.
advance. I mean, you always need to have an idea how you're going to play a matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like
Unless,
at least building, you need to have a clue who is going to hold the objective.
exactly, yeah. I mean, for example, my last game with you when we played, I played Emperor's Children for, I don't know, fourth or fifth time. And there, I have no clue what needs to go where and how. And I just
Yeah,
full send
yeah, yeah, yeah,
because I don't know,
yeah, 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 I get that. Yeah.
I mean,
And
from
then you
playing
which
World
is
retrospect
normal.
Eaters,
stuff.
I
Yeah,
realized one thing, that if you full send, it's better than to cower, just because you get something for your unit, right?
yeah,
And something is better than just sitting idle and getting nothing.
yeah, because units are a resource, and there is no unit strategy where the unit does nothing. Like Seed 1 players and you guys as well, you will never see a unit literally not move. Like it's mega, mega rare. They're always gonna rotate for a reason that is obscure, or just rotate because uh, now there's 700 point on the flank and they should just fuck off and play somewhere else. But yeah, can't stay idle. And yeah, everything asks for an answer. So you put something somewhere, it asks for an answer. The only time it doesn't is if you play against 2 million points of line of sight, or if your strong flank is completely open and there is nothing you can do about it. But these armies, they're usually you can isolate if you're gonna be able to play on the map or not. It's like, there's this crucible map where no, not tipping point map where this objective is completely open.
There is a Crucible map does the same as well.
Yeah, yeah.
My lovely team made me play Tower against it.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, I just a little thingy. Like this unit, it's more macro than actually micro, but at first I started playing it middle and strong flank. And the race no, middle, and the race were playing my strong flank. And Zeras was coming with them in the middle. And then I started playing them on my weak flank, putting the race in the middle and putting Zeras here on the strong flank. And actually got a lot better results. Just for the simple fact that instead of trying to freeze the middle with warriors, I'm now freezing the strong flank, which allows me to concentrate my entire army in this rectangle here. This rectangle, I will play with my whole army. And as you saw in our game, Kala, this objective, I just put crap on it.
Yeah,
But we were playing a different map. If you play on this map, I would just freeze this objective and the flank. Like there would be just warriors like that. But this is very specific to this list. I just wanted to portray that I tried one different thing and I had a lot better results just because it actually made more sense to freeze a flank where units are far away than to freeze the middle where everyone can play the middle.
Yeah. I think with Kala, I had one game where we played Drukhari versus Necrons some months ago, I guess. But what we did was we figured out that the Necrons shouldn't play for the 3 objectives. They should probably just... The list that I was playing, at least at that time, was like Star Shutter list with King and One-Catan, some bullshit, right? And we figured out that if I play for the 3 objectives, I'll just lose the game. But if I just play for the middle and for my safe objective, it's way better for me. So maybe a matchup is not necessarily bad, but just the macro strategy is bad.
No, yeah, this list has the inherent problem that it will be drawish into even like there is no real matchup. It will be drawish because your opponent is holding an objective with 60 points and matching you on these objectives by putting shit on it. And ultimately you win because your list isn't kill level because you play a bunker, hence why you can play on it objectives, but your whole battle plan is to just not die. And ultimately you will actually score middle and catch back in points. But it's sad to know that he has held this flank with literally nothing. I feel like this is a flaw of the list, and it's hard to mitigate it because in Necrons you don't really have good options for the weak flank. But if it was Space Marine list where you can do a bunker and not die, then we would actually put 5-man intercessors in a transport and just vomit them on the objective every turn or something like that.
Yeah.
But
by the way,
Necrons,
you're robotic voiced. You got your Necron voice right now. I don't know if it's only for me or for everyone.
You're also robotic voiced. Weird. Wait. Yeah. Discord is struggling according to my browser.
Fair enough.
Yeah, that's it. I believe that the forming like this whole yapping, you guys know it a bit more than most players here, but this whole yapping is just to like when you see someone starting their turn straight away, you say, wait, stop. Just take a sec. Do your turn in your head, visualize your units on the map, what they're gonna achieve, and for sure you're gonna avoid at least one placement mistake. Because you're actually running scenarios in your mind before you get the correct one. Like if people don't have this, I don't know how they're playing their games. Because I mean, I know, but I get that you're gonna like for sure you're gonna do more mistakes. You're gonna have units that start moving, go in a direction, then you move something and you're like, fuck, I'm missing a unit on this tank. Oh fuck, I have one too many. But yeah, it's cool to mat thoughts before you actually start moving any model. But yeah, the thing I was saying earlier that well, Kala plays orcs, but there are armies where you're conditional from a dice roll, like War Eaters, for example. And you kind of need to make your plan, and then you make a backup plan. Then you're like, okay, movement phase. I'm going to move the first and foremost important unit. I'm going to spend 1 CP for advanced and charge. You roll the advanced, and depending on that roll, you decide if you want to proceed with your plan or not. It is very World Eatery or very. It's also a bit easy, actually. Like sometimes in EC, you're like, well, because my unit can advance and charge for free, I'm just gonna roll an advance with the Demon Prince just to see what I can do. And you roll, you get a 6, you're like, wait, this opens a whole new plan.
Yeah,
But this
fair
is
enough.
like unique to Emperor Children. Fair. the only army that gets literally no penalty for saying, let me just roll an advance just to see what happens. Yep. Cool. That's all I had to yap about. I might have forgotten things and stuff, but yeah, I'm a bit sick, so I hope it's okay anyways.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. Thank you, Matt.